station making the headlines. This is the Front Page News on Classic FM 97.3.
Time don't reach to chop life with Ogbonge bonus from MTN. Just find out your old MTN SIM card where you never use for the past 45 days or more. Load 100 naira to get 2,000 naira. Check am and begin use am. If you no fit find your SIM, sharply go any MTN office to do SIM swap and enjoy your own awoof. Terms and conditions dey sound.
You're tuned in to the Front Page News on Classic FM 97.3.
Good morning to you once again. It's Front Page News and Analysis on Classic FM 97.3. Remember, you can send your comments to 33973. That is our SMS portal. Also, Twitter, Classic FM 973 with the hashtag FPN. Post it on our Facebook page as well, facebook.com/Classic FM 973. Starting with the Vanguard, we have this headline: Killings plot to instigate war in Nigeria, says Buhari. Gwaska massacre death toll hits 58. Corruption, we've recovered 7.8 billion naira through whistleblowers. And from the Punch, Buhari embarks on 4-day medical trip to UK today. Stop deceiving Nigerians about your health, PDP tells President. Lagos lawyer bought new knives to kill husband. Wow. Evan Whips says they've been beating me, no good food. Nigerian Tribune, Ekiti APC crisis, indicted aspirants face disqualification. Killings meant to instigate war, says Buhari, and that is from The Nation. Also, Ekiti APC aspirants, NCC, disagree over shadow poll. And we start with this in detail. Saraki Dogara report IG to Buhari over Senate Milai. President Muhammadu Buhari on Monday met behind closed doors with the President of the Senate, Bukola Saraki, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara. The meeting was held inside the presidential villa, Abuja, shortly after Buhari returned from his weekend trip to his hometown Dara in Katsina State.
Good morning, everybody. Even though Buki refused to introduce me.
I apologize to me. Good morning.
I'm sure you know who owns the voice you're listening to.
Jimi Disu with me this morning.
Okay, I'm sure you were saying maybe you're going to circle around. Okay, now, very quickly, because I have loads of stories. Yesterday, the president had to call in these two gentlemen, and I think that the major discussion really would fall on the budget, the person of the budget that has taken forever. And Saraki now came out with an assurance that they'll pass the budget in the shortest time possible. The issue of reporting the IG to Buhari, I jolly well, Buhari will say he'll be diplomatic and say, I'll look into it, but nothing, and I repeat, nothing is going to happen in that case. Nothing's going to come out of it. It was said that the Dino issue came up, and I'm sure Buhari would just have told them that that is a matter for the judiciary to take care of. But it was nice that they had a meeting. I must confess that it was nice that they had a meeting. These kind of meetings need to take place from time to time. I'm sure also the issue of the payment for the planes would have come up, and he would have pleaded with them. Now, the National Assembly, I'm not talking of this assembly, but in the past, we were told, I've never been there, but we were told that in the past, to pass things like the budget or sensitive things like this, they're usually carried along, and those our regular listeners know what being carried along means in the past. But I am not too sure that Buhari is going to play that ball. I'm not too sure he's going to play that ball. So what would he be telling them? What tactics would he be using? I think he'll be squeezing, who knows, he might be squeezing them here and there, The power of the executive is phenomenal. And he might be telling them one or two home truths, and I don't know how that discussion would have gone. But they all came out smiling and quite satisfied, and we were all relieved to hear Saraki say that they will pass the budget anytime from now. So that's about what we have on that.
Okay, Ambode's re-election certain, says Ademowo. The Bishop of Lagos Diocese Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion, Reverend Ephraim Ademowo, yesterday hailed Lagos State Governor Ambode for his infrastructural renewal drive. The eminent cleric noted that the governor's re-election next year is sure. Speaking at the opening of the third session of the 33rd Synod of the Diocese at Our Saviour's Church in Tafa Balewa Square in Lagos Island, Ademowo said the governor's achievements were visible.
Thank you very much. Now, the Synod is strictly a church function. And you always talk about a distinction between the church and the state. And we have forever said that it's always the best to keep religion out of politics. Now, at a synod, I'm at a complete loss as to what I'm reading. This is what Reverend Ephraim Ademowo is said to have said. He said, "We have talked about your governor's endorsement for a second term last year." I don't know who he meant to. I think the "we" means himself and the governor. And he says that, so it is a fait accompli. A fait accompli. Remember that this man, this reverend gentleman, is talking on behalf of the Anglican Communion. So he now says that we have talked about your governor's endorsement for a second term. It is a fait accompli. It is a done deal. It is not negotiable. It is not debatable. And he goes on to say, excitedly, you can see a lot of excitement there. He says, "We are enthused, happy, and excited. We want to appreciate you. We want to celebrate you. We want to thank God for the way He is using you in the state and beyond. We could see things for ourselves. The whole state has been opened up. Even when we have our retirement house, anytime I'm in the vehicle, sometimes I don't even know when we'll get there because the road is now something else. I want to thank you for the great work that you have done in this state, and I want to assure you of our prayers." The bishop described Ambode as a workaholic, trailblazer, and an indefatigable personality whose life of humility, doggedness, and commitment to the growth of Lagos is unrivaled. He then urged church members of the church members to get their PVCs, adding that it is important for them to do so and elect leaders of their choice. He goes on to say, "We know who we are going to vote for." He keeps talking about we. "There is no perambulation. We know where we are going, but we need to have our PVC and our votes, we need to have our PVC. Mommy and I will vote." I don't know who he means by mommy. That must be his wife. And he says we'll vote. So all of us must ensure we get our PVCs to vote. This is a most unfortunate and a complete embarrassment to the Anglican Church. It's most unfortunate. I can't imagine the Bishop of Canterbury delivering this kind of statement, talking about Theresa May. It is most unfortunate. People must understand that once you take up public office or anything like this, you can no longer talk about your personal feelings. You subsume your identity into the role that you're playing. And this coming from the church is gradually moving into the political realm, and that is what is going to ruin the church and ruin the state both ways. For example, when you have a canned scribe saying things like Buhari should resign, it is a dangerous move. Extremely. What Reverend Ademowo has done, he doesn't know. In any case, I'm sure would even have embarrassed the governor. And it can break the Anglican Church down the line.
Could that have embarrassed him?
It would have embarrassed. If I was the governor, I'd be embarrassed.
Some people like accolades.
No. Some accolades are dangerous. The man, I would have been embarrassed. That what I've come to do here is, in any case, of what value is his endorsement? I'm an Anglican. Am I going to vote for somebody just because the bishop has said so? And don't forget, unfortunately, it's the same bishop that created the problem here, if my knowledge is right, in the Christ Church Cathedral, that got 70-year-old men and women demonstrating in the church. I think somebody needs to rein him in. It's completely improper. And I'm putting him mildly, and because of course one has to give him his due respect. But this is very, very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. And I don't even think I'd be surprised if the governor himself would have been impressed by all this.
Odede Sunday has said it here, going on and on about roads and all of that. Odede, he says here, can someone tell the bishop that Governor Ambode is doing the work he was elected to do?
Apart from that, this man was here. You didn't call him privately to tell him to solve this refuse problem that we have, that is affecting people's lives. You go on accolades. And these accolades are even beyond. How would you get so excited to the point that you say it is a fait accompli, it is a done deal? Even his campaign managers wouldn't talk like that. And that when you drive around in your car, you sometimes don't know when you get to where you are going. I mean, this is to be honest with you and to put this is dripping of psychophancy. I have somebody come and talk like that to me, I walk him out of my office. So
what was the message that was preached? I guess it was supposed to be from the Bible. So what did the people take away from the Bible?
Okay, you said that again. You want to throw me under the bus.
No,
you're walking me up.
Just asking.
I know your tricks now. I'm not going to get angry. I almost wept. You know, the other day I said in an interview innocently that I don't go to church when I'm in this country. And I have no apologies for it. Sometimes I follow what I see, some services on television. I don't know what church has become. I don't know what our religious leaders have become. It's not any different on the other side. The other day, Fayoshe went for some Muslim prayers. He was dressed in the dress, I think, of an imam or whatever. He should have been corrected. Rather, they created space for him. What is wrong with our people? Who do we run to now? What is wrong with our people? What is wrong with us? Who do we run to? Across the board, our religious leaders, our elders, everybody, you know. Well, that's my reaction. I'm sure a lot of reactions will have there now.
Yes, okay.
Both for and against. But the truth is that we must always separate religion from politics. No country prospers if you combine the two.
Okay, Bob Duran says, Jimi, why are you making too much of the bishop's speech? The bishop is just on a cookie jar trip after retirement.
I don't know. Don't link.
Bob Duran said that. I didn't say that.
I didn't say that. I didn't say anything that concerns cookie jar. The only problem that I have now is that I'm broke. I need to endorse somebody badly, and I'm running out of time. But look, you see, the funny thing is, Buhari has declared now, formally, that he's going to run. Have you seen anybody endorsing him? No, because you know if you endorse Baba from now till kingdom come, nothing is going to drop. Buhari not a drop. Have you seen, Buki, let me ask, have you seen any group so far, apart from the governors who are jostling for their own political position, have you seen anybody endorsing Buhari since he declared? Baba, he won't drop it. You can, from now till kingdom come. It's not good.
Adekwiti says, good morning, Buki and Uncle Jimi. We all know what will follow after this comment by the bishop. Religious groups are one of our biggest problem in Nigeria. Sharaf Balogun says the Reverend is making a mockery of the Anglican Church. And Femi Babade says, Uncle JD, it's high time we allowed a spiritual leader air their view and participate actively, even from the altar. Are you...
No, I don't even think the church would. You can't do the two. Of course, you can leave your whatever in the church and go for politics. There's nothing wrong with that. And then sometimes you do find that there's some personalities like Archbishop Desmond Tutu and so on. They get involved in things of principle and put up, of course, you know, his contributions during apartheid. Yeah, but that is not politics. I mean, that is a cause. How many look at what happened to their fellow clergyman, the way he was treated by the same Lagos state government, thrown out on the streets within 24 hours. And there was a conspiracy of silence amongst Lagos Khan. They couldn't come out and defend their own. I don't know. I don't understand these things anymore.
Solomon Edukugo says this is an aberration. Priests being partisan publicly indicates they are not abreast or
being
ignorant of
psychophantic.
Their priestly duties and responsibilities. Shay Williams says, in Majek Fashek's voice, religion, now politics. Sylvester Steve Obiago says, these clerics have started again. When has the synod become a campaign ground? These clerics would not learn. So what was the message that was taken about that synod? Okay, Buhari embarks on a 4-day trip to UK, medical trip to UK. President Muhammadu Buhari will on Tuesday embark on a 4-day medical trip to the United Kingdom. Here you go.
Well, I'm glad that his media handlers were honest enough to say he's going on a 4-day medical trip. They are not saying something like maybe he forgot something that he wants to go and pick, which are the kind of funny stories that apparently when it must have been that on his way back from the States, he saw his doctors and they told him, Excellency, you might need to do some small procedure. These things are normal. If a man is not well, he's not well. If a man is not well, he's not well. And the only sad part is that you have the head of a country, an oil-rich country that's gotten independence for 50-something years. You don't have a good hospital. That not only can you not treat your own president, you cannot even maintain. You don't we don't know if he had a surgery or not. He must have had anyway. But you can't even maintain. He's on maintenance level now. You can't even maintain it, and now he has to keep going back and forth. It is sad for a country like Nigeria to find itself in that kind of position. But having said that, I'm glad at least for this one, they've respected our senses to say that he's going on a 4-day medical trip. The PDP have said it should stop deceiving Nigerians about your health and so on and so forth. Initially, I was one of those who reacted to say that we should know everything about the president's health. And when Lai Mohammed, I think it was Lai Mohammed, said that it's a security issue, I dismissed it. But on second thought now, I said to myself, what if it turned out that the man had been poisoned? How do you go announcing that Buhari has been poisoned and this country will not tear into different pieces? Can you imagine you make that kind of announcement, especially his supporters in the north, hear that he has been poisoned? But I'm not saying he has been poisoned though. Let me make that one clear. I'm just speculating here, But the man is virtually okay, at least from what we can see.
This second-term agenda, do you think
is hail, hearty, and chatty? You said what?
But the second-term agenda, do you think it's the best for him at this point?
What do I think is the best for him? If I were a member of his family, I'd say no. But maybe he's so passionate that he's ready, at the risk of his health and whatever, he's ready to keep going on this project. What concerns me more is the fact that so far, from all those who have shown interest, I haven't seen anybody that has stimulated me in any manner at all. I've seen a lot of rhetoric and so on and so forth, but I haven't seen anybody who can pull the trigger.
Titokwe Block says that there is no difference between religion and politics. Both involve lies and fanatical beliefs that generally defy logic, just like rock climbing. And the bishop is saying what's on his mind, not on behalf of the Anglican Church.
But he's saying it at the synod.
He said he's saying what is on his mind, but not on behalf.
But he keeps saying that we have. He says that we have. It's a done deal. There is no compromise. He's talking to his members. He said it at the synod. If he had said it at the governor's 50th birthday or something, I wouldn't have minded. He said it at the synod, and he was saying there is no. He was addressing his fellow Anglicans and telling them there is no compromise. It is a done deal. Yep, I'm quoting what is written in the papers.
Okay, we'll take a break on Front Page News and Analysis. We'll be right back.
Guy, now what for you? Where your MTN SIM day?
MTN SIM? You plan to up on one side.
I don't call you since last week now. You don't miss many things. So business day, I say I call you. Your phone say not available. I call say me go arrange another hustle. Your phone still say not available. I call say me I tell you say MTN don't they dash some people 20 times any amount where they recharge.
Wait. MTN they dash.
I say MTN they dash 20 times any amount where you take recharge. Now they say if you load 100 naira, now 2,000 naira be that straight.
Oh, so you mean say if I load 200 naira, now 4,000 naira be that? Sure. I don't jump bicycle, they slip since.
You said the wrong commentary now.
Guy, I they go find my MTN SIM sharp.
Yes, so if you never use your MTN SIM for the past 45 days or more, time don't reach to come back and begin enjoy plenty awoof as MTN go dash you 20 times your first recharge of every month. Oh yeah, everybody don't go reactivate your MTN SIM. You still the wait? If you know fit find your SIM, sharply go any MTN office to do SIM swap and enjoy your own awoof. Terms and conditions they shall.
You're tuned in to the Front Page News on Classic FM 97.3.
Still Front Page News and Analysis on Classic FM 97.3. Drama as Evans refuses to disembark from Black Maria, says I've not been well fed. There was a mild drama yesterday at a Lagos High Court sitting at Igboshere when suspected billionaire kidnapped kingpin Chukwudememe Onwamadike Evans refused to alight from the Black Maria that took him to court.
You see what I talk about precedence? He must have heard about the stretcher issue. And now he gets to the court and he says that he's not been well treated, he has not been well fed. Being well fed is subjective. It depends on what might be well fed to you, might not be well fed to me. But he says that he's not been well fed and so on and so forth. He said, since I have an explanation to make, I have been in the maximum prison and they have been maltreating me. No visit, they don't feed me well, I have eye problem, I cannot see far, and so on and so forth. But when the case was mentioned, the Lagos State DPP, Titila Shitabe, told the court that Evans refused to disembark from Black Maria. Guess what happened? The judge ordered prison warders to bring him into the court. He was then brought into the court barefooted, with his back filled with sand and his green t-shirt on the right shoulder. They must have dragged him in. I'd like to see what the Senate president I'd like to see if they will also take up the case of Evans. It's a dispensation of justice is very, very difficult. There are too many loopholes, you understand, that can be used to delay the course of justice. And I think I am happy, and I must give the judiciary some credit, by insisting on I'm glad that the judge told them to bring him in by all means. We can't continue to have this kind of behavior. And this is what I say about precedents. This is the Dino Melaya I saw in the social media about 3-4 days ago with Saraki taking his BP, was smiling. He was hail-hearty. He looked hail-hearty and chatty.
That photograph was some time back, I think.
That photograph that I saw, it wasn't as if it was now?
No, because I remember when that photograph was taken.
Then I take correction to that.
Okay. Aleni Lawrence says, the other day a friend went to church and they were asked to pray against Buhari and the gentleman kindly walked out of church. Churches are becoming a political forum, which is very unfortunate.
Very unfortunate.
Odbenga Ojoawo says, of course, some of us know the reason for the several disagreements between the legislature and the executive is because PMB hasn't been carrying them along. Hate PMB or like him, you can't question and take away his integrity.
Sorry, Buki, just 1 second. The danger about bringing religion into politics is our society is very, very complex. And when it comes to religion, it's a very sensitive issue. I hope it doesn't get to a point where in one family, you find yourself pitched against the other person just based on all these religious differences, which are some of our people are trying to highlight. I remember 4 years ago during the elections that produced Ambode, I heard from a very reliable source that there were strong representations made to Tinubu that we must have a Christian governor because Fashola was a Muslim and Tinubu was a Muslim, and that we must have a Christian governor. Guess what happened? When they were ill-treating the cleric, you know what one of them said? I think some bishop somewhere. He said he was even better treated during Fashola's dispensation, who was a Muslim, as opposed to the way they are being treated now. People must have a very clear mind about these things. If the leader of your country is a Muslim and you're a Christian, what does he do to you? He hasn't told you that he wants to turn your house into a mosque. When people say that the people are being discriminated against because of their religion, sometimes I sit back and wonder how would that be? Are you saying that the governor would not tar a road because there's a mosque there and he's a Christian? All these sentiments we need to get very selfish sometimes. When I say selfish, think about what you have to gain in the first place before you cast your vote. Even if the man is a heathen, he's not insisting that you should come and pray with him or whatever. You're in your house doing whatever you're doing. All this Christian, Muslim, and then I always maintain that the Christians and the Muslims usually think that they're the majority in Nigeria. A good study, a very, very good study, something that can, if you let people make their opinion with a line machine on standby, you'll discover that the traditionalists have more patrons than Christians and Muslims. In reality, a lot of people join these two religions for show, just to make no, I'm a clean man, no, or now I don't get involved. It's the devil. Is this?
Well, it's your individual choice.
And then concluding, imagine if we stuck to our traditional religion in Africa, in Nigeria specifically. If we did that, don't you think we'd have a better governance? Don't you think? Yeah, because
people to swear by Shongo
that you can. They give you a cutlass and say, oh yeah, put your teeth on it and swear that you will not put your hand in the cooking jar. That hand will not move anywhere.
OJ says, it's truly sad that rather than fix our health sector, PMB waste our resources on health tourism abroad. And
he's not wasting your health. He has to stay alive.
Harry Iwai says, how come the president couldn't build and equip a hospital to treat him in the last 2 years plus?
I think, to be honest with you, it goes beyond the president or whatever. It is us. How come 50 years down the line, even before Buhari, was elected president, we don't have at least 6 first-grade medical hospitals in the country?
UCH
6
that was leading has now been...
It's gone. UCH was leading is gone. As for Luth is virtually dead. It's like a mortuary.
All right. Why I jumped from police vehicle Milaye as court adjourns bail application till Thursday. The senator representing Kogi West Senatorial District, Dino Milaye, on Monday said he jumped out of the police vehicle, conveying him to Lokoja because tear gas canisters were used on him twice in the vehicle. So how come it didn't affect the driver?
The first thing that this establishes is that it is true that he jumped down. That is right. Now, the second thing, he says that he was in a police vehicle and because tear gas were used on him twice. Now, when the police used the tear gas on him, did they wear gas masks? So you are in a vehicle that can take a maximum of maybe 6 people or 8 people. The police now tear gas you in the same place that they were. Did they wear gas masks? Nobody thought of that. He didn't think this thing through. That can you tear gas a man in a vehicle in which you are with the driver? Before anybody makes any contribution, if you haven't felt tear gas before, don't contribute to this discussion. I have. Back in my student days, I know what tear gas can do. It is very, very unlikely that you would tear gas in a moving vehicle. It's not as if you tear gas him and then run down from the vehicle. Twice. I better give me another story, Jerry. Give me another story.
Sylvester says, does Evans think he's in his house? Let him feel the pains of those he suffered in his kidnap den.
Evans is innocent until proven guilty. That's what the law says.
Gato Ginny Cake says, churches listen to their leaders in Nigeria. They take their words as exact from God. So I totally understand where Uncle Jimi is coming from. Mansa Musa says, for the sake of national interest, Nigerians must rise above religious and political bigotry. This one says, Badege says, we've messed up everything. If those who had governed us in the past did some little things, we would have a world-class hospital. And Orode, women free to go out, says Ikorodu Mona.
Yeah, this is a development from the letter that was circulating, and it is said here that Oba Kabiru Shotobi yesterday denied issuing a statement ordering women to stay indoors during today's Oro Day. That he denied. I saw this too. I got it on his letter-headed paper and so on and so forth, even signed. But he said he did not issue such. But I would advise most women anyway, once they are doing that Oro thing, you better, even myself will be man, I'm not going to be going anywhere in anything Oro. Because something about these things is that you never really know. I remember the rumor when I was in university in 75 when Oba Kenzwa died. Not this Oba, the one before died, and they said we all had to shave our heads if we didn't. I left town. I left town for 2 weeks. I'd invested so much in Weller Street. My afro was this big. It was almost like Michael Jackson's one. I just left town because you never know. You just never know. And they're going to bury X number of people with. I don't know anything about it. I just left town. And when I showed up, my parents were more than happy to receive me and say, just stay at home until this thing started over. I wasn't going to take my look, you should have seen me the way back then.
All right, let's quickly.
Have you ever heard of Weller Street?
Time, of course, now. Time will not permit us. Diamond stick murder. Udeme planned to travel abroad after killing her husband. This is a very unfortunate revelation. That the lady who is accused of killing her husband, it is said that she had planned and that she had packed her bags ready, ticket and all, ready to hit Muritala Mohammed Airport and take the next flight out to the UK. But that wouldn't have solved her problem.
it would have complicated it. You know, one thing about running away from country is that when you're going, you feel so relieved. When you now get to your destination, that's when the real problem will set in. She'll be reading papers every day. They would have declared her wanted. Her photographs will be everywhere. But we'll see. You'll see she'll have her day in court. We'll hear her story.
Akimbode,
very, very unfortunate story.
Akimbode says this before we go. Religion is our major problem in Nigeria. How many religion houses preach moral, hard-working, love and perseverance nowadays? We're all products of one religion house, and that's Akimbode.
Look at us. Look at us having challenges with refuse and health issues. That was never discussed. Wasn't discussed openly at the synod. Is the re-election of the gentleman that is non-negotiable.
Okay, Sports Express.
Good luck
is
to
here.
Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Jimi.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Time don't reach to chop life with Ogbonge bonus from MTN. Just find that your own MTN SIM card where you never use for the past 45 days or more. Load 100 naira to get 2,000 naira. Chakam and begin use am. If you no fit find your SIM, sharply go any MTN office to do SIM swap and enjoy your own awoof. Terms and conditions they shall.
And that's it on the Front Page News on Classic FM 97.3. Stay tuned.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is R. Kelly.